Mike Tyson wasn't just trained, he was engineered. Most boxing trainers teach fighters how to punch. Cus D'Amato taught Mike Tyson how to think. Before Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, he was subjected to training methods that sounded more like psychological experiments than boxing instruction. Hypnosis, mental conditioning, obsessive film study, fear management, and the vision of the perfect fighter that Cus had spent decades developing before he ever met Tyson. What's crazy is that years before Tyson walked into his gym, Cus had already described the type of heavyweight he believed would dominate boxing. Not a giant, not a 6-foot monster, but something completely different. And when a troubled teenager from Brooklyn arrived in Catskill, Cus believed he had finally found him. This is the story of the unconventional methods that transformed Mike Tyson into the most feared boxer on earth. Before Mike Tyson, there was an idea. For decades, Cus D'Amato obsessed over a single question: what would the perfect fighter look like? Most heavyweight champions were getting bigger, taller, longer, heavier. But Cus believed everyone was looking in the wrong direction. He argued that a slightly shorter fighter possessed hidden advantages: a lower centre of gravity, more balance, more leverage, better head movement, the ability to slip underneath taller opponents and explode in range. He wasn't interested in creating a giant, he wanted a missile. A fighter who could move like a middleweight but hit like a heavyweight. Someone capable of turning defence into offence in a fraction of a second. For years, this fighter existed only in Cus's imagination. Then one day, a 13-year-old kid walked into his gym, and according to those around him, Cus immediately saw something. Not what Tyson was, what Tyson could become. Most people assume Tyson's first lessons were about punching. They weren't. The first thing Cus taught Tyson was fear. Because according to Cus, every fighter is afraid. Every single one. The difference isn't whether they're scared. The difference is what you do with that fear. Cus used an analogy Tyson would never forget. He said fear is like fire. Fire can cook your food or it can burn your house down. The same force can either help you or destroy you. It all depends on whether you learn to control it.
To let your fear go something like this. All people are afraid. Being afraid is a very normal, healthy thing. If an individual not afraid, I would have to send them to a psychiatrist to find out what was wrong. Nature gave us fear in order to survive. And of course, fear is our best friend. Without fear, we would all die. We'd do something foolish or stupid, which would cause our death or being crippled. Fear is something which has to be controlled. I always compare it to fire. Fear, like fire, must be controlled. And once it gets out of control, like fire, it can destroy everything around it. Not only the individual, but everything around it. But once you control fear like fire, you can make it work for you. Without fire, we wouldn't have the civilization we now recognize. The fighter who controls his fear can now function in a manner far over and beyond anything he was capable of before. Fear is your friend. And nature gave us fear in order for us to survive. And I give the example of the deer crossing an open field and coming to the forest, and instinct telling them danger is present in the trees, perhaps in the form of mountain lions. At that moment, the adrenal gland injects adrenaline into the bloodstream, the heart beats faster, enabling the deer to perform an extraordinary feat of agility, sufficient to get out of the immediate danger. Now we, as human beings, in my opinion, retain these qualities, though they're somewhat dormant because we live in a civilized atmosphere. But nevertheless, faced with a situation that intuition tells us danger is present, these natural assets that nature gave us to survive come to the surface. And if we don't panic, if we maintain a discipline and a control we can use them. And they not only will help us survive the particular incident, but continued success will give us a confidence that is so strong and a foundation so powerful that in time we can get to overcome almost anything.
This philosophy became one of the foundations of Tyson's mindset. Cus didn't teach Tyson to eliminate fear. He taught him to weaponize it, to convert anxiety into aggression, nervousness into energy, doubt into focus. Years later, Tyson would still repeat these lessons almost word for word, because they weren't motivational quotes, they were psychological programming, and that programming was only the beginning.
It's just that
not the way they feel the same.
That's how it lets fear bother them. And
No. More specifically, see, fear, I mean, a coward and a hero, there's nothing, they're the same. I mean, they feel the same. It's what they do that makes them different. In other words, the hero feels just as frightened as the coward.
yeah.
But it's what he does that makes him different. It's what he does that makes him a hero, and what the other fellow doesn't do that makes him a coward. It's just as simple.
This is where things get strange. Tyson has spoken publicly about hypnosis and deep visualization exercises with Cus D'Amato. Many trainers tell fighters to stay calm. Cus went much further. He wanted Tyson's subconscious mind completely convinced that he was destined to become champion. Before major fights, Tyson would repeatedly visualize success, over and over and over again. Walking into the arena, hearing the crowd, feeling the gloves, landing the punches and winning the fight, holding the championship belt. The goal wasn't simply confidence, the goal was familiarity. Cus wanted Tyson's mind to believe it had already happened, so when the moment finally arrived, it wouldn't feel new, it would feel inevitable.
Well, Mike, if you listen to me, you'd be a successful, rich fighter. Nobody in the world can beat you. You're the best fighter God ever created. He knew who I was before I knew who I was. He had made all these claims, I'm the greatest fighter in the world and all this really bizarre stuff. I never questioned him.
One of the things what Cus told him was that, Mike was going to be part of the great warriors of antiquity. And so, part of the things that Cus had Mike do was read books on past history. So he would read about all these incredible warriors of old. And that's the way Mike began to see himself, because at some point Cus told him, no, it's not about the money. Now it's about immortality.
Think about that for a second. While other fighters were preparing physically, Tyson was rehearsing victory inside his mind hundreds of times before ever stepping into the ring. The effects were impossible to ignore. By his late teens, Tyson possessed a level of confidence that many opponents found terrifying. And that was another part of Cus's system that may have been even more important, and it happened every single day. Most young fighters spend hours hitting bags. Tyson did that too, but after training ended, the studying began. Cus turned Tyson into a boxing historian. Hour after hour, day after day, year after year, Tyson sat watching old fight footage. Not for entertainment, for education. Jack Dempsey, Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, Jersey Joe Walcott, Ezzard Charles, and countless others. Cus wanted Tyson to absorb everything. How champions moved, how they set traps, how they handled pressure, and how they reacted when they were hurt. How they finished opponents. While other teenagers were watching television, Tyson was studying decades of boxing history. The result was extraordinary. By the time Tyson reached the professional ranks, he wasn't fighting like a typical heavyweight from the 1980s. He was fighting with pieces borrowed from multiple generations of champions. In many ways, Tyson became a living collection of boxing's greatest lessons. But there was still one final ingredient, the ingredient that transformed him from talent into terrifying. Cus understood something most trainers never fully grasp. Boxing is not only physical, it's psychological. Long before the first punch is thrown, a battle is already taking place. The battle for belief. Every conversation with Tyson reinforced the same message. You are different, you are special, you are destined to become world champion. Some critics would call this brainwashing, others would call it mentorship. Whatever you call it, it worked. Tyson didn't walk into fights hoping to win. He walked into fights expecting to win, and eventually opponents felt it too. By the mid-1980s, many fighters looked defeated before the opening bell. Tyson's aura entered the arena before he did. The knockouts became shorter, the fear became greater, and the legend grew larger. And the psychological weapon Cus had spent years building was now operating exactly as intended. Cus's genius went far beyond motivation. He had spent years developing a style built for the kind of fighter he believed could dominate the heavyweight division, the peekaboo style. It was designed around a tight guard and gloves tucked and glued to the chin, with constant head movement, slipping punches by inches and exploding forward with short, violent counters. Instead of fighting at long range, Cus wanted his fighters to collapse distance, get inside bigger men's reach, and turn defense into instant offense. To him, boxing wasn't about surviving punishment, it was about forcing mistakes and making opponents pay immediately. Before Tyson, Cus had already proven parts of that vision with other champions. Floyd Patterson became heavyweight champion under Cus, and Jose Torres also became world champion, showing that the system could produce title holders. But Tyson was different. He had the compact frame, low centre of gravity, explosive legs, and natural aggression to make the style look terrifying. He wasn't built to fight like a giant, he was built to fight like a missile. And Tyson didn't just learn the style, he was physically shaped for it. Cus had him doing unconventional training methods like neck bridges and neck exercises to strengthen his neck, improve balance, and help him absorb shots while slipping punches. Tyson also worked the maze ball constantly, building hand-eye coordination, rhythm, timing and defensive movement. His sparring was brutal too, often more like a war than a technical exercise, because Cus wanted every reaction to become instinct. He wanted Tyson to be a war machine by nature, repeated by blood, sweat and knockouts in the gym, session after session.
I train the way I fight. If someone comes to box with me and they're not serious, I think they're making a very foolish mistake. I don't think the best profit of it is when you have a sparring partner in there that's not intimidated and throwing punches and trying his best to get the edge and win. Like it's a fight, trying to knock you out.
By the time Tyson stepped into the ring as a professional, he wasn't just using Cus's system, he had become the ultimate version of it. When people think about Mike Tyson, they usually think about the knockouts, the speed, the power, the ultimate destruction. But those were only the visible results. Behind them was something much deeper, a philosophy, a system, a decades-long search for the ideal fighter. Cus D'Amato didn't just teach Tyson how to box, he taught him how to think, how to handle fear, how to build confidence, how to study greatness, how to believe in himself before anyone else did. Years before Tyson arrived, Cus had envisioned a compact, explosive heavyweight capable of overwhelming larger opponents with speed, movement, intelligence, and controlled aggression. When Tyson entered his life, it was as if that vision had stepped out of his imagination and into reality. The punches made Mike Tyson famous, but the mind that Cus D'Amato built made him terrifying. And that's why, decades later, boxing fans still ask the same question. Was Mike Tyson born to be a champion, or was he created? Because if there ever was a man capable of creating one, it was Cus D'Amato. But if there ever was a being put on earth to be the perfect genetic fighting machine, it was Mike Tyson. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more stories from boxing's greatest minds and most legendary fighters.
With me, the guy comes to me with a spark. I fan the spark until it becomes a flame. I feed the flame until it becomes a fire. Then I feed the fire until it becomes a roaring flame. That's what I have to do.